Hello everyone, GalacticStorm here. Welcome to the show. And today, as you can see, we are going to be doing the Mortal Kombat 11 beta, something that's been out on the weekends, and by the time I post this, it's probably going to be ending at this point. So Mortal Kombat 11, it was a bit of a surprise to see that it was coming or debuted around late 2018, early 2019. I forget which one it was. But it was a huge surprise, and a bigger surprise that it's going to be coming out within a few months, at around April. So we are getting pretty close to the completion of the game. And it's just a surprise smorgasbord in that. And to all those who don't know, I am a huge fan of Mortal Kombat. It's probably one of the first games I really ever played when I was a kid. And this was during when the 90s, and this game was controversial because of all the blood, violence, etc., etc. It's still pretty controversial at this point too. It's basically one of the mainstream video games that introduced or popularized, I would say, the blood, violence, gore, etc., etc. So let's talk about the gameplay, shall we? So Mortal Kombat 11, the beta, it introduces three characters that you can play. Scorpion, that's obviously a mainstream character. Same thing with Baraka, which has been around since MK2. And Scarlet, which was introduced in MK9 and was a DLC character, and now she's playing a role within the game itself. So within those three characters, you have a lot to choose from, especially from moves, costumes, and everything else in between. Even the minor details within your weapons too. With like Scorpion, you can change the katana, you can change the mask, or with Baraka, you can change the blades, how he's outfitted and such. Same thing with Scarlet, and it's going to be like this with every other character. And I heard that this is going to be I would say this isn't going to be like like a loot or win and play game. Basically, you can also get special moves that you get attached to your character, and they can do those special attacks, and you could just they could fill up like 1 bar or 2 bars into your customization of the character and that. So you got a couple to choose from. So what I think about this, or what I like about it, is the customization is really good, comparable to that of MKX. Like I said, you got a whole bunch of costume changes and such. You could change the weapons, as said earlier. The moves, especially, you could replace like some of the special moves with another set if you like. And I think it's pretty neat, and it's a good job that they've done that. They've inspired that from the Injustice series, which they've been playing on, or which they've made as well. It also has some really smooth gameplay. I really hadn't had any complaints on it slowing down when I'm playing and such, besides with the lag, which I'll get in a second. And another good thing I really like about this game is the fatalities. The fatalities are a mainstream of the game, which is why it's so popular in that. And they are pretty cruel, I would say, pretty nasty in a good way. Especially Baraka and I would say Scorpion in some sense. Scarlet has a good fatality too, but the brutalities are also as nasty as the others, which you can unlock with a few set of moves and such, or depending on what you do in that, or you have to accomplish like a set of moves to do that and such. But anywho, let's go with the cons. Now, speaking of lag, which I mentioned earlier, the lag at times can be absolutely terrible depending on which opponent you're facing. You might have good connection on your side, but on the other end, the opponent might not, and it's going to be screwing up the game at times, maybe ending it spontaneously or something else for that matter. And another thing about the gameplay that I didn't like is how they introduced their new meter bars, the offensive and defensive bars. A lot of people have complained about this, and me too especially. It was confusing at first to use because I kind of knew how to use the original meter bar that they had from MK9 and MKX, which I thought was perfect entirely. But MK or NetherRealm wanted to change it entirely and use this new offensive meter. And with all the gameplay that you're seeing right now, I really didn't know how to use the offense and defensive meter until I played it much later on. I didn't do good when it came to my gameplay entirely. I think I got like 5 wins, 10 losses. I'm a below average Joe when it comes to fighting games. As you can see, I play more shooting games. But I still really like Mortal Kombat 11 entirely, and I cannot wait to see what the game brings. I've played at least like 20 or 15 games at least, and I think the game is pretty good at this point, but they still need to crack or give some cracks and news around some of the details of the game and that, and hopefully help with the lag in that. But then again, this is a beta, everything's going to change, and the game is going to be coming out in around April, the middle of April at least. I think it's April 14th, I might be wrong. But yeah, that's what I had to think about this game. Thank you all very much for watching. Be sure to like, favorite, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and be sure to like my Facebook page down below. And as mentioned, Redemption Episode 3 is going to be coming out around the start of April, or around during the middle of April, depending on what the hell's going on. Until then, GalacticStorm saying, I'll see you guys later.